25, substitutes. We have several substitutes in custodial, secretarial, cafeteria, also teacher, pre-K to 4, and another custodian as listed there. Letter B, we have 5 retirements and 1 resignation as listed. Letter C, we have a sick leave request due to medical concerns for an employee. This is an unpaid sick leave to extend until effective April 19th to extend to the end of the 22-23 school year. Letter D is an extension of a long-term substitute. This individual has been a long-term substitute in the district, and due to an extended leave of absence, we need to continue on with the services for this individual who is currently substituting for us. So this is just an extension for the remainder of the school year. Letter E, food service transfer. Looking to approve the transfer from full-time food service to a full-time head cook position at the high school for the rate listed at $20.02, 7 hours per day. As a result of that transfer, we have some other openings that will result in the food service department. We do have to read in the names for this. The posting was just out, we just had interviews this week.
The first name under the full-time food service person would be Kim Spatula. Is that correct? And then number 2, the part-time person is Donna Urian.
Any questions on these?
Is it the same one that's up above?
Yes, she's also willing to go on the sublist for custodial work.
Okay.
Letter G is a transfer from a paraprofessional from part-time to full-time. Again, this was as a result of another resignation. This part-time individual will take over that for the full-time position that's currently open, and which will leave the part-time position open, which we're looking to address as soon as possible as well. Letter H is an appointment for a custodian at the starting rate of $12.50 per hour with applicable fringe benefits, effective immediately. Letter I is the appointment of the 22-23, I'm sorry, should that be 23-24? I'm sorry for the misprint. 23-24 school year.
It is correct in the motion.
Yeah, the motion is just on the title there. So that's for all the advisors at the secondary level. Letter J is the appointment of our student assistance program team members for the high school and middle school. Contracted rate of $14.28 as listed. Letter K, we have appointments for extended school year for special education services for the summer PSY program for 2023. We have special education teachers, early intervention teachers, speech and language therapists, a school nurse, paraprofessionals, early intervention paraprofessionals, occupational therapist, physical therapist, and a social worker as listed per hour. Letter L, our appointment for our summer school at the high school slash, well, we have to figure out what that's going to be this school year because of the construction. So that will be determined as soon as possible. but the four content areas of English, math, social studies, and science are listed there. That's at $38.22 per hour. Letter M is appointment of a spring coach for 2022-2023 for Ultimate Frisbee, $37.94 salary. Letter N is an approval of volunteers for the spring for 22-23 school year. We have 2 track, a junior high baseball, as well as an accompanist for elementary concerts. Then we have our informational items. April 1st is our high school musical character breakfast, which took place in the high school cafeteria. April 5th, today was our career fair in the high school gym. April 6th, tomorrow is a noon dismissal for our holiday break. And then we have April 7th and 10th, school is closed. April 12th is our Evergreen PTA meeting at 6 p.m. April 14th through 16th is the high school musical, The Little Mermaid at the high school. 7 p.m. for Friday and Saturday, and 2 p.m. for that Sunday. On the 15th is Evergreen and RDW 4th and 5th grade NEPA Girls STEM competition at Valley View High School, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. April 16th through 19th is the FBLA State Leadership Conference in Hershey. April 19th, RGW Poison Prevention for grade 1. April 19th to 22nd is the PMEA All-State Conference. April 21st, RDW Discovery Day. Also on the 21st is this middle school student council dance. April 14th, Evergreen first grade poison control presentation. April 25th through 27th, PSSA testing for ELA. April 26th is our Envirothon. April 28th, 6th grade school physicals. And also on the 28th is Title I Awards Night at RDW, 5 to 7 p.m. Correspondence, our administrative reports, federal programs, and other business, as well as our future meetings are listed there. April 26th is the presentation of the narrative budget here in the district office at 6 p.m. May 3rd will be our board work session, and immediately following will be our public meeting and adoption of the tentative budget for next school year. And that's our agenda. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Move to open the meeting.
Meeting, as soon as somebody's ready to report us.
Go.
All right, call this meeting of Western Wayne School Board to order. We begin with a brief prayer followed by the pledge of allegiance. Dear Lord, in this season of rebirth and renewal, I pray for renewal for all of us in mind, body, and spirit. And as always, for your guidance in the decisions we're about to make. Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Emmett, would you please take care of the roll call for us?
Mr. Hook?
Here.
Mrs. DeCiato?
Here.
Mr. Guzalski?
Excused?
Mr. Collins?
Here.
Mr. Enslin?
Here.
Mr. Gershi?
Here.
Mr. Gambita?
Here.
Mr. Auckland?
Excused.
And Mr. Wood?
Here.
Attorney Ellis?
Here.
Dr. Barrett?
Here?
Dr. La Rosa?
Here.
Ms. Emmett is here. Mr. Gregorski?
Here.
Mrs. Bradley?
Mrs. Bradley and Mr. Pigeon are excused.
Okay. Mrs. Miller?
Here.
Ms. Watson?
Here.
Mrs. Fitzsimmons?
Here.
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Black?
Here.
Dr. Denight?
Here.
Dr. Szymanski?
Here.
Mrs. Gregory? Here. Mrs. Liptak?
Here.
Mr. Seaman?
Here.
Mr. Jakes?
Here.
Mr. President, you have 7 board members.
Thank you, Ms. Emmett. Move on to number 5 is our approval of minutes from the board work session on March 1st and the regular board meeting also on March 1st and the special board meeting on March 9th. Can we have a motion for that, please?
I move that we approve the minutes of those 3 meetings.
The motion was made by Mr. Gershi and seconded by Mr. Gambita. Is there any further conversation, discussion on the motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed by saying no? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries. Next is the motion for the treasurer's reports and the general account.
I move that we accept the treasurer's reports for the general account.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Wood and seconded by Mrs. DeCiato. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye on the motion. Aye. Anyone opposed by saying no? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries. Motion for number 7, please.
I move for the approval of bills for the general account and food service account.
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Wood and also seconded by Mrs. DeCiato. Is there any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed by saying no? Are there any abstentions? Motion carries. Number 8 is student recognition.
Mr. Jakes.
Mr. Jakes is going to do that today? Is before?
I'll start. You guys
Okay.
get started
All right,
if I
whoever, yes, whoever wants to.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. First, I'd like to recognize, or congratulate and recognize 3 students from Western Wayne High School. They're not with us tonight, but it's a distinct honor. They've been named to the Times Tribune 2023 Scholastic Superstars team. We just got this information this week. Each year, the Times Tribune asks for nominations for all northeastern Pennsylvania schools. Each school is only able to nominate 3 students, and there were nearly 70 nominations this year for 25 spots. The judges are all college administrators throughout the area, and they were very impressed with this year's seniors. But Western Wayne, each of our student nominees were selected. Those students include seniors Marshall Davis, Kylie Maring, and Evan Pierce. The Times Tribune will honor those students in a ceremony on May 9th, and the students will also have their accolades posted in the newspaper and on a billboard in Scranton. And I want to add in saying that in my nearly 10 years in the administration, we've never had all 3 of our student nominees selected, so that's a very special group of students and, you know, a really fantastic honor that'll be seen, you know, throughout, northeastern Pennsylvania. So congratulations to those students and their families. I'd also like to recognize winners of the Rotary Club of Hamlin Essay Contest. We swept the first 3 prizes. In the essay contest, Asia Mendoza was first, Zinnia Galvin was second, and 3rd place was Chaz Smith. So congratulations to them. The winners and their parents of the winners will also be contacted and invited to the Rotary Club meeting on May 2nd to be presented with their prizes. Many of the submissions for the essay contest were students of Mr. Ryan Onder, and we want to thank him for his support of the program also. I think he's going to be invited to that award ceremony also. And one of the main areas of focus in the Rotary is basic education and literacy, and the Rotary Foundation supports education through scholarships, donations, and service projects around the world. But congratulations to those students and to the 2023 Scholastic Superstars. Thank you. This time I'd like to pass things over to Mr. Jakes.
Thank you, Mr. Gorski. We'd like to use this as an opportunity to recognize some of our student athletes and some of the good things they've been doing. So first, I'd like to call up Coach Josh Harrison, our varsity wrestling coach, to speak on behalf of some of our members of the girls wrestling team.
Thank you. My name is Josh Harrison. I'm the head coach of the girls and boys wrestling team. My assistant's Ed Harrison here with me. I just want to start by saying we had 5 girls compete at districts back in February. 2 of them, Addie Pruss and Summer Powell got 4th place. Sarah Shook and Lexi DiCiato over here, they each got 1st place. So top 4 went on to regionals. Addie Pruss got 6th at regionals. Summer Powell got 5th, and then top 4 move on to states. Lexi got 3rd, and Sarah got 1st at regionals. And then we went on to states the following week. Lexi ended up taking 8th at states, and Sarah took 3rd at states. For regionals, there was 37 teams there competing. We had 4 girls compete for our team. We got 4th out of 37 teams as a team overall. And then at states, there was 107 teams in total. We had these 2 girls compete, and they got 19 out of 107 teams. Another thing too, with our girls, I know it's been crazy this year with girls getting sanctioned. In May is the 3rd vote by the PIAA to actually sanction them to where it's their own sport, it'll be their own team. But all year the girls, we have a junior high girl here, Eliza, all the girls have been practicing and competing with boys all year. It's extremely hard for these girls to go out and compete with boys. It's also intimidating for some of them to actually go out there and compete. We had Lexi and Addie Pruss that started on the boys varsity team this year, so they wrestled every single match for us this year to help us win the matches that we won this year. So I just want to recognize them and everything they do, and then hopefully next year they'll have their own team and be able to compete against girls throughout the state.
Thank you, Coach, and that's a testament to the work that you're putting in with the congratulations, Coach, again. I'd also like to acknowledge swimmer Adrian Agnello. He's an 11th grade student here at Western Wayne. This year he had a fantastic year. He's one of 2 swimmers that we have here at Western Wayne, his sister being the other Audrey. This year at the Les Richards, a big swim tournament, he took 2nd in the 500 freestyle out of 20 swimmers, 3rd in the 100 breast out of 40 swimmers. And at districts this year, he finished 4th in the 200 free out of 30 swimmers, and 3rd in the 100 breast out of about 30 swimmers as well. Adrian was also selected in the all-region team this year as a representation of Western Wayne, so he wasn't able to make it tonight, but I thought it was worth mentioning and giving him a recognition for the hard work that he's putting in. I wanted him to be noticed by everyone, so I appreciate it. Our coaches and the students worked really hard throughout the year, and we appreciate that, so thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gorski, Mr. Jakes, and thank you all for all the hard work. It's great to hear about everything from our scholastic superstars to our swimmers and girls wrestlers, and you're doing a fantastic job representing Western Wayne, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, we move on to recognition of the public. Any of the students, if you'd like to leave, now's a great time to go if you wish. You're welcome to stay if you'd like to. Yeah, you can absolutely. If you want to go, you can go. We're going to set things up just slightly differently than we've been doing with public recognition. When you want to speak, you have to come up to the podium, please, and just state your name and then give us whatever information you want to share. Obviously, we're always best prepared to answer the agenda items, so we try to stay focused on that as much as possible, because that's what we're prepared to discuss tonight. But if you have anything else, okay?
I'm sorry, I gotta go to church Holy Week, we're singing all week. That's all right. But, so give me that Catholic guilt.
Yeah.
I have 2 compliments.
State your name, please.
I'm Victoria Barcarola.
Thank you.
I have 2 compliments first. Most of you weren't there, but you should have seen the high school teachers competing in the basketball game against the students. They annihilated them. I was so impressed. Like, you just should have seen them running around. I don't know if Craig Buck was going to be here tomorrow, but they were awesome. That's number 1. Number 2, a family member of mine in high school in a different district had what we would call code red, but it was a lockdown. And can I give this like in front of everybody? It was a lockdown, and the kids didn't know what to do because they don't have drills. And so good for us, we have drills throughout the year, we have fire drills. How many, code reds do we have throughout the year?
We replace typically 2 fire drills with code red, code green safety drills at least. And then we often sprinkle in other drills as well.
That's, I love it, it's great, because these kids, it said, you know, we're in the, it's a lockdown, and we're supposed to shove things against the door, and the teachers really come, and the kids going, shouldn't we do this? And they didn't know what to do, the kids, so good for us for having those drills. That's my second compliment. Third compliment, as you were mentioning, transportation, and what they get paid. Again, about the substitute's salary. I make more driving a bus an hour than I do substituting, and there's bus drivers who only went through 9th grade who are making more than a substitute is making an hour. And I was talking to Mr. Collins about it, and he had mentioned doing 1/180th of a beginning teacher's salary, which is approximately $53,000. So don't drop that on this one, would be $300 a day, but I'm not going there. That was so funny. But I'd like to see 200 or something. There's no benefit. And you have teachers that have, some have their master's, some, we all have our bachelor's, but, and we're making pittance. I mean, I know it moved up, but it's still pittance. And I think of what, like when I graduated college and I was substituting, it's like $2 more an hour. And I graduated college just a couple of years ago. You could, please don't say we'll look into that, because
No,
this is
thank
not
you
my
for your
fourth
input.
meeting
No,
again mentioning
No,
it.
and I told you last month, we're working now, or starting to have conversations about the budget for the upcoming year. So, and that will be adopted, I think our preliminary will be in May. So we will obviously continue to have those conversations and try to decide what or if we can do anything at this point.
But to continue to have the conversations isn't helping the pittance that,
Well, we could not have the conversation.
what?
We could not have the conversation.
This is true.
Right. So we know, we
But I'll
are,
keep asking.
we do, yeah, and yeah, we've heard it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Have a happy Easter and a happy Passover. I'm so sorry
You
I have
too.
to leave.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye. Bye.
Is there anyone else who would like to bring anything to the board?
Oh, go ahead.
I would.
Sure, come on up.
My name is Layla Epstein, I'm a student of Australia, and I would like to address a topic that was brought up during the last board meeting. I'm not asking for answers, I just like to get the opinion. Normally now, 2 of our former students left the school due to a violent incident. I didn't attend the previous board meeting, but I watched the video that was presented on YouTube. In the video, a parent had an opinion on the situation. Not only did she address her opinion other than the facts, but she didn't go about it accordingly. I would like to voice the truth. The truth is that when discipline is in action, the school district is not fair whatsoever. When students get into a brawl, their discipline should be fair. All students involved are wrong and should receive equal punishment, as stated in the policies that were provided to us in our student handbooks. When students are disciplined, discipline action should be fair. Race, size, living situations, past situations, and etc. should not be included when a student is being disciplined. There have been very similar situations that get little to no punishment. What happens to one involved should happen to all involved. When students are involved in situations like this, it is their choice and their right to move schools. In some cases, this does happen, especially the specific case that was mentioned in the last board meeting. In this specific case, both students returned to school and were escorted by the officers to each class. As a student attending this school, it was the first time I've seen these type of precautions taken. If the precaution wasn't enough, then it should have been spoken about sooner. Every student has a right to an education no matter their background, and it is not the school's right to explain every student's background to the families, as this is an invasion of privacy. In this particular situation, it has not been spoken about that the student portrayed as the victim was bullying the other student with racial slurs and derogatory statements. Among the students, she is known as a bully both in school and online. For example, even after the incident happened, she continued her derogatory statements and made this public posts, which I have. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you for your input.
Just to address the disciplinary nature, when an incident happens, we do have policies in place that we are obligated to follow. We're obligated to follow, state and federal laws as well. So we try to be as consistent as we possibly can to meet those requirements. And then, however, not every situation is the same, and there's usually a unique twist to it to some extent. So we agree with the fairness comment that you made for sure. But at the same time, so Sometimes students need to be held accountable. And sometimes it varies in the level of what that looks like. And sometimes it may seem like something is either overlooked or not addressed the same way as another situation, but I can assure you that we make every effort to be fair and consistent.
Ms. Epstein, did you say what grade you were in? Sorry.
Ninth grade? Oh, okay.
Very well spoken.
Yeah, thank you.
Great job.
Very brave, good one. Talk to us.
I don't know if it's I don't think it's necessary, but other people do.
Right. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Dr. Johnson, if you want?
Yes.
Come on up, just so it's easier for us to hear what's going on.
Sure. I have a question about Narcan
Oh, yes.
school, because I know that we have no problem in Carbondale High School with a lot of fentanyl. And I think it would be nice if the parents and the people that are involved with the school would know if somebody is here outside of school hours and there is an episode, do we have some Narcan here with the available for people coming into the buildings or at sporting events and parties and things like that?
We have blue pens in every office, or every building, with the school nurse. I believe our SPOs may have them in their office as well. Thomas?
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Oh.
Narcan.
Yeah, yes.
Do you keep it?
Yeah, we have three, I think there's 3 per building at this point.
3 per building?
I believe so. I know we have 3 here at the high school.
Okay.
And there was a time also when I could double check to make sure that the trainer also, for
Yes,
the school activities, athletic trainer
Yes.
has also. But school nurse, school office, or SPO office, and trainers.
And all of those
I
individuals are
understand that
trained.
it's a fairly rapid response, required, and there are not over 20 narcotics and trainees.
That can only help, I guess, if there's more people that are, it's more widely accessible, there's like a likelihood that more people will have it on them or availability to have it.
Excuse me, and I can also speak to, I believe that, those products also only have a relative shelf life. So I know that Mrs. Johnson, coordinator, she coordinates for the school nurses. When they're reaching the end of their shelf life, she'll reach out, and the local pharmacies will, they'll give us a new batch, and she'll make sure that they're distributed to the new buildings and that we have it, the appropriate people have that, on hand.
So if someone goes down at an event, is that part of your safety plan? If somebody goes down at an
The
event.
part of the
is
safety
that-
plan does involve health issues. I don't recall what the procedure
Correct.
was.
We typically have school security on campus for any of those.
And school security will also have
Yes.
in their possession.
Well, not on them personally, but in specific locations.
Right, and that's my question is, how long do we have between when we have someone go down
I
and
can't
when,
answer that.
so if we, my patience is low. But I would like to know, if we could, because that's not something that's private, that's something that I'd like people to know.
Yeah.
So we have that, maybe even post it somewhere. So if we have someone go down. Because it's crowded in bleachers and such.
I don't know how we should answer that,
Yeah.
because if something happened
Here.
here or over there,
Yeah.
if you're asking for a time, I don't know
Yeah,
how a time could be given, other than the fact they could be prepared to
Right,
take care of the
so
situation.
that when you
So
go in
if
there, you know
if
that
you're
there's
prepared to
a
take care of the
first aid.
situation,
Right, a first aid station.
it's
something
the
like that.
way, that's how I would look at it.
So do we have a first aid station? So they would have it.
We also have AED stations throughout the campuses as well. and, First aid kits for all campuses as well.
And that has it in there too, the take care.
Again, school nurses, trainer, SPOs. Yeah, in the office.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're about about out of time for the public comment. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to bring to us?
I have just a quick.
Sure.
Two things. One, as far as like the threat plan, the assessment plan update that you guys made, I think that's great, especially.
State your
Oh,
name.
sorry, Christina Hines.
Thank you.
I think that's great that you guys have been working on that, especially the last few weeks. Is that something that we would, like, any of the public would have access to read, or is that just strictly, okay, that's fine. And then secondly, this was just brought up yesterday, and I don't know if it's something to bring, like, that you, I don't know what to do really, but there's, I guess, this Instagram page that the kids, have you guys heard of this?
We've been in contact with our school police officers, local
Okay.
state police. We contacted our education council group,
Uh-huh.
who sent a notice to at least the one that we were aware of at the time, and we're continually working with one or two others that we know are out there that we're trying to have taken down, removed. or
Yeah,
at
I
least-
know they're probably gonna just keep trying to start them up or whatever, but, there was some pretty bad stuff on there, so, alright,
We thank you, but yeah, we have been working.
okay, that was it.
Thank you. Okay, the enrollment report, Dr. Barrett read